Hi, I'm Kelly Swanson, author of The Story Formula, How to Connect and Engage Through Strategic Storytelling. I get a lot of groups who ask me, why in the world do stories apply to me, including salespeople? And that always baffles me a little bit because storytelling of all places fits the best in sales. And here's why. We all know that selling isn't just about giving them the information. If I needed a shampoo that would just wash my hair and get the job done, I wouldn't be staring at 500 bottles of shampoo on the shelf in Walmart. If I bought a card just for the pieces in it or how it's put together or how it was made or what it can do, well, salespeople wouldn't be necessary. Why? Because we don't buy the ingredients. We don't buy the pieces of the car. We don't buy your features and benefits. In fact, we don't even buy what you're selling. Did you hear me? I'm going to say that twice. We don't buy what you're selling. And you're spending a lot of time thinking about how to convince me I need what you're selling. We don't buy what you're selling. We buy what we need. We buy solutions to our problems. We buy our own pains and desires and the emotions that are attached to that. We don't buy your story. We buy ours. That's the first reason that story is so important and critical in sales, is because story allows you to paint the picture of what your client is going through. Features and benefits in a brochure can't paint that picture, but telling them a story of somebody just like them or very similar who had similar pains and desires and how you were able to help them is a beautiful illustration of how story works in sales. That's why your customer testimonials are some of the best stories you're ever going to have, and you need to be using them to sell to your future buyers. But there's another reason why story matters so much in sales. The cardinal rule of sales, we all know this, is it's about relationships. Everybody tells me that. It's all about relationships. Well, that's kind of hard for some of us who don't have time to build a relationship. We only have X amount of time on a web page or on social media or in a presentation or in a networking event. We don't have time to form the relationship. Well, when you dig a little deeper, there's some more cardinal rules behind that one. And that is that people buy from people they like, people they trust, people they believe, and people they feel like they know. Now, I'm not the first one to say this, and I won't be the last. Everybody knows it. People buy from people they like, trust, believe, and feel like they know. Well, think about those words for a minute. Like, trust, believe, know. Those words, they're emotional. Those have everything to do with how people feel about you, about your product, about the company you work for, and about themselves. It has nothing to do with what you're selling. And the good news is, story is the magical tool that can allow you to show them who you are, that can get them to like you, get them to trust you, and feel like they know you. It's not about finding the perfect story. It's just about taking that time to put a human face on yourself, on your product, and on your company. And that can make all the difference because people buy you first. And the science is now backing me up. Research shows that data cannot build action. Your innovation cannot build action, but story can. Story is that one secret weapon you have to go from telling people what they should do to actually making them want to do it. Want to know more? Great. You've come to the right person. I've spent my whole life studying this. Come subscribe to this channel. I'll be putting more tips on here all the time. And there's a bunch already. You can watch me actually do some story makeovers here. Or go to kellysfreegift.com and download my book. It's a workbook. It explains it all in detail and walks you through how you craft those stories. All right, go have fun. Happy selling. Bye. Hi, Kelly Swanson here, author of The Story Formula, How to Connect and Engage Through Strategic Storytelling. Today, I want to talk about how you can sell data with story. I've been speaking to a lot of data-driven industries this year and coming to them with the topic of storytelling. And they all in the beginning scratch their heads and go, wait a minute, how in the world does storytelling apply in our data-driven industry and technology and computers and in that left brain, for the most part, world? And so I get to show them the beautiful place where data and story meet. And, you know, okay, no, I'm not doing it good because I don't know where I'm going. Okay, pause. Hi, Kelly Swanson here, author of The Story Formula, How to Connect and Engage Through Strategic Storytelling. In today's video, I want to tell you how you can sell your data through story. I've been speaking to a lot of groups, especially this year, who are in digital IT industries, very data-driven worlds filled with facts and figures and information. And I've been coming to them, explaining to them how story applies in their world. It's a little hard to get your brain around when you deal with data and facts all day long. But story is actually a very important tool if you have anybody that you need to go influence with that data. Because most people with data find themselves in positions where they're having to come out from behind the computer and go influence somebody else, to educate them on how the data works, to encourage them to use the data, to raise awareness, or to actually sell it and get funding for it. Therefore, it puts you in a different position where you're not just about the numbers, you're now in the world of impact and influence and persuasion. And you need a way to go deliver this data in a way that's effective. Now, many people think, oh, just give them the information and that's a job well done. No, not so. Just because you give them the information doesn't mean they understand it, which actually brings me to the first reason why story is your greatest tool when it comes to impacting people with your data. Because just because you give them the information, it doesn't mean they know what you're saying. In many of your data-driven industries, and other industries actually, often you speak a different language from the people on the other side, whether it's a higher plane of vocabulary or just words that we don't use in our own lives that don't make any sense to us. And therefore, story is your best tool to help you wrap the data in an analogy, a story they can understand and come to their own conclusions, and that you can then relate to your data. So the first thing is that story allows you to take data to understanding. The second thing it allows you to do is take your data to an experience. We all learn the most from what we actually go through and experience. And so if we can get our listener, our buyer, whoever we're trying to influence, to actually experience our project or our data, then we will have more impact and be more persuasive. Well, story is how you do that. Story allows you to actually involve the listener in what you're saying, to test drive your car, as I like to often put it. And don't just believe me, believe the research that scientists are coming to the conclusion that story gives us the ability to light up all these other parts in people's brains. Data can't do that. Story can light up these different emotions. And when I tell you a story, your brain is searching for a similar narrative and something that it's actually gone through, which means that you're going to stand in your story and my story at the same time, which is an amazing power. One researcher said that it actually, story can help you plant ideas into other people's minds. So please use the power for good. So we've gone from data to understanding, from data to experience. The other one is from data to persuasion. I quickly learned as a motivational speaker that giving a lecture was not going to move people to action. I had to be able to actually persuade them to want to act on this. So I had to go from being a lecturer to being a salesperson. Yuck, I didn't want to be a salesperson, but I had to learn how to take this data of mine and make it persuasive. And the sales world taught me that the cardinal rule of sales, if you want buy-in and to be persuasive, it's about the ability to, well, people buy from people they like, people they trust, people they feel like they know. And so story is a tool that allows you to show people who you are. Just a tiny little personal story or information about yourself can do the trick. It actually creates a human emotional connection. And the last one is from data to transformation. People don't buy your data. They don't buy what you're selling. They buy the transformation in their own lives. They buy solutions to their own pains and desires. And so therefore, you're not only telling your story, you're telling theirs. And story allows you to paint the picture of what they're going through, of the pain they're having, and what's in it for them, and how your data or whatever it is that you're selling to them, how it will have more impact and influence and actually bring transformation in their own lives. So those are 4 reasons that story is the tool you need to make your data more persuasive. That's all we can do for now. If you're like, what do I do with all this? Go to kellysfreegift.com and download the book. and go read that. It's no charge. It's my free gift to you. Or subscribe to this channel where I'm bringing tips like this all the time, and you can really dig deep into where the art of story meets the business of persuasion. Okay, gotta run. Bye.